afternoon and welcome to KG5. Good afternoon and welcome to KG5. Tasmania. It's the Glenorchy Knights taking on the Kingborough Lions. The Glenorchy Knights have taken on the main challenge to Devonport's claims on a three-peat. They marched onwards with a 1-0 victory over Riverside, courtesy of just some outstanding diving from Joel Stone, winning a penalty up there late on in the piece, which I'm sure Knights fans will be fuming about, even as they prepare for this one. That has opened up a handy little gap at the top of 7 points. Knights need to win here this afternoon to close that gap back to 4. They're taking on the Kingborough side, who have surprised many this year, currently sitting in third, and who managed to defeat the Knights in their meeting down at Lightwood Park earlier in the year. They struggled in their one hit out they had at KG5 when they played South Hobart early in the season. We'll see how they deal with a pretty rampant Knights attack here today. Should be a great contest. The Knights must win this one to keep their title hopes alive. I'm Andrew Cooling. Joining me to call the action this afternoon is Paul Hunt. Matty, what are we expecting from this one, mate?
Well, I think the Kingborough Lions will go into this one with their tails up, especially having been on the other side besides Devonport to get the win over the Knights, and they could do Devonport a favour here. It's probably going to be one of the trickier games Knights have for the rest of the season down here. Obviously, they have a game against Devonport, but they're really looking to try and build and get towards that top spot, which did look unlikely there for a little while. I do think Knights have going to go into this one full of confidence, on a great run of form, scoring plenty of goals with that attacking lineup with Nkoso and Walter, etc., which we'll get to soon. A couple of leaky issues at the back though, and with Sunday McEwen in fine form for the Lions, I reckon is one to watch this afternoon.
Yeah, he is just proving to be one of the signings of the season. Sunday McEwen, the Clarence Zebras, what on earth are they doing letting him slip away? He has just been like a fine wine this year, Sunday McEwen. Equal with Alex Walter atop the goal scoring charts, and Jack Ryan, who of course has departed our shores, so unless they go scoreless for the rest of the year, you'd probably say unlikely to feature in the Golden Boot race, but two of the league contenders going head-to-head this afternoon. We'll quickly run through the teams before kick-off here. Kingborough have gone with Davis Bryan, Danny Cowan, Keenan Dowse, Christopher Downs, James Hall, Phil Kansos, Lee Mackey in net, that man McEwen, Joel Samet, Kenneth Track, and Simon Vivarelli on the bench. Hayes, James, Martin, Nugent and Turner. For the Knights, they've got Backhouse, Bowman, Harrison, Hart, Muller, Naden and Koso, Connor Schmidt, Oscar Thomas, Kate Smith and Alex Walter on the bench. Alex Woodham, the backup keeper. The Sherman tank, just in case he needs to deploy himself, the coach. Bellini times 2, interested to see Alessandro on the bench, and Harry Anderson. So we're off and running in this one. And Joffrey Nkoso trying to drive the attack early on. He's been in fine form, Paul.
He certainly has, and we saw Nkoso already making a break down that wing. I think his matchup on that wing with Kenneth Track is going to be one to watch here this afternoon. He's going to have to, do plenty of tracking back, I think, in defence.
Yeah, they'll have their work cut out. They've been a pretty diligent defensive unit this year. Have Kingborough. They've been tough to break down, and really the exception to that was their trip to KG5, and the Warwick expenses particularly suit the way they played. South Hobart really torn to shreds that day, and a similarly pacey attack about Knights here today, but I'd certainly not be expecting a repeat. As I said earlier, they've already beaten this Knights team once, and we're looking to repeat the trick here as Hall looking to dance into the box here, driving to the byline, gets his cross in. Ooh, early opening there. Well, there you go, kick, but early threat carried by the Lions.
It certainly is. Good run there from Hall down the wing. They've certainly swapped and changed their lineup a bit this year so far. Kingborough Lions, Davis Bryan, the American, brought in as a defender. I've seen him play midfield, even a little bit up top recently as well, so he's back in his more natural position, and I certainly think Walter is going to have his work cut out, battling up against their captain Danny Cowan and the tall American as well, so the wings might be crucial. And Naden tries to go past on the right hand side. Backhouse giving chase and forces the throw in to be conceded there by Keenan Dowse. He'll also have his hands full on the wing with Smith and Backhouse and Naden seemingly all rotating on that right hand side as The archer, Jack Bowman, looks for an option, and he's just about thrown that one out of play, but a corner conceded. I thought they have had enough body there in the way there, the Lions, so they could have let that one roll out, but Douse going safety first. And, conditions today in Hobart, absolutely glorious. Sunny, 20 degrees, wind starting to pick up a little bit around the grounds, but we got... It really is now perfect weather for football. As Nkoso is pleading with Cropper, had actually checked for that players to move back at least the required amount of time, but didn't happen, and that corner is going to go down as one of the most wasteful of the year, with Bowman having conceded throwing nearly back at halfway. That's not how you take a corner.
That was fairly poorly executed there by the Knights. They can only improve, I suppose, as Keenan Douse launches the long throw, was searching for Sunday McEwen. Nick Nathan having a fine season, part of this dangerous and dynamic attack that they've produced. Joffrey and Koso beaten out by Kenneth Track as Hall flips it over the top. And it'll be a throw in. Looking forward to this contest this afternoon. Should be an intriguing matchup. As Track ignores the option of Downs and just picks out Sunday McEwen instead. The match winner last week, just superb little volley at the back post after getting another Chris Downs set piece. So often the avenue to goal for the Lions, and something Knights will need to be on guard against today. This one's chipped over the top in the Walter direction. Looking to run onto it, but parked back there was the veteran Danny Cowan, who just launches it down the line looking for McEwen. A pretty serviceable year in the heart of the Lions' defence, moving back into centre half this year, Danny Cowan.
Another one of those versatile players that Kingborough have. I do think his best position these days is probably centre back. He started his career on right wing and up top, but gradually moved further back, and I think that is the position for him and where he can go forward. Likes to see the field, good communicator on the park as well is DC. And as you mentioned, Sunday McEwen getting that winner last week. I do think Glenorchy Knights will hope to have slightly better defending from set pieces there, unlike the winner last week. Wasn't anyone in quite the vicinity of Sunday McEwen. Yes, that one's conceded out for the throw-in. Somehow we've got the spare ball down there as well. Track waiting to get that one from the change rooms. It's got Downs as an option. Hall as well making the run. Cleared by Geordie Muller. Not sure if it's a late change or not on the Knights bench, but Thomas Young, who's played a lot of centre mid for them this year, crossed out on the team sheet, and Ryan Backhouse taking his place. Bit of a change for what we're used to seeing from the Knights so far this season, as Ryan can't get that one forward. The throw.
He's been an important player for them, Thomas Young. Real prized signing for them when they got him. Had a really injury-interrupted 2019, but he's been able to get himself out on the park regularly this season, and he's shown the quality that made him such a sought-after player. Was really dominant for Toronto in the championship, but a versatile player, can play centre-back, central mid, attacking mid. He's brought goals and assists and can be used in defence in a pinch, as trying to swing his boot. That one to get it forward was Vivarelli. Koso with 2 to beat. Got out to Muller. And he sets far too much of a task there for young Backhouse, getting the start today with Bellini demoted to the bench. Started the season in red hot form. Probably cooled off a little, the magic man Bellini, so Backhouse gets his chance. And he has impressed every time he's come off the bench. I've seen him this year, Ryan Backhouse. It's just been unfortunate to not really get a look in, because this Knights attack has been so potent.
Pretty much all season he's been the first sub off the bench. Certainly just about every game I think I've watched live of Knights, he's always been the first one brought on. A reliable player, as you're going to see Lockie Hart get a few touches of the ball. Too many options, so goes to the giraffe, Oscar Thomas. Pressing now coming from Downs, and Hart forced to whack that one high. Battling in the centre of the park is Vivarelli. It's a bit too long for Joel Samet to get. Playing left wing today, Samet. Bowman. So Using up his options. Vivarelli, another one who's come up from the championship side from Lions. Few substitute appearances so far this season. Be close to his first start of the season. So he goes in the centre of the park as Bowman really doesn't fancy jumping the fence for that one.
Moment to borrow that with multiple balls lying around the vicinity. Leave that one to the ball kid, as this one's thrown down the line, headed forward by Katsos. Trying to work his way forward was Joel Samet, the other attacking fullback. Loves to overlap and gets forward, always full of energy is Joel Samet. Naden protecting the ball, gave it to Backhouse, who just coughed it up a little too easily there. Now, Danny Cowan, well, also gave it up a little too easily. A few players just taking a little too long on the ball, don't have quite that much time, as this is a searching ball in the Nick Naden direction, brings it under his spell, turns inside. Working back nicely though, it was Danny Cowan. And just boxed him out of it in the end as Oscar Thomas lumps this one forward. A contest decisively won by the American in Davis Bryan. Set up the equaliser last week. A little through ball in the strings in midfield. This one's nodded forward. Slightly suspicious control there from Adam McEwen. Gets away with it back to track. Industrious as ever is Sunday McEwen. It's a rather blatant push in the back from Geordie Muller.
That one's definitely a foul. I was Sunday McEwen, bit kind of one of those shoulder tricep type ones. You sometimes see him give them, sometimes don't. That one definitely a foul. I did like the calls for a foul earlier on Walter from predominantly the Knights away. The fans behind the goal. There was no one on the pitch appealing for it, but that home ground advantage is starting to be used early. They obviously do like to play towards that end in the second half through the Knights.
Should be a good contingent out there tonight. It's been a beautiful day down here in Hobart. Certainly wet conditions up at Valley Road for the early game, but a balmy 20 degrees out here. Lovely evening for the Knights faithful. Get along out there in the wet area. I'm sure they'll be in fine fettle. This one's cleared away.
Assuming there's probably a champ game on before it as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't be so happy with the result in that one.
Okay.
But they'll be looking for redemption here.
Take it they lost to University then. There's that long ball down the line towards the king of the Andals, Joffrey Nkyoso, sizing up track.
4-1 I think was the score on that one, so fairly decisive for the students. They push after the championship title. Big game in that title race also taking place at the moment. Olympia and Hobart United. Of course, two NPL games on at the moment. This one and Lonnie City, South Hobart, and then Olympia and Clarence Zebras in the Eastern Shore Derby at 6:30. So plenty of football headed your way for your viewing pleasure this evening. There's Lockie Hart driving this one along. Lions looking pretty solid in defence so far. Robust makes a fall back there. They find a way through. That was really nicely done by Cade Smith. Throw in a good spot here for the Archer to take. Goes in the Walter direction, chested it down for Smith. His volley will make Nathan work for it, but a Suki first touch. Rolls it back to Connor Schmidt. Now Koso, who they just love to isolate one-on-one and let him get to work. And he'll have a run at Kenneth Track here. Track does really well though, holds his ground, dispossesses the Knights wingman, although they get in a little bit of trouble trying to play their way out initially. One back by Geordie Muller. Backhouse might keep it in. So 11 minutes gone. Not much in the way of chances thus far.
No, and Track, his defence didn't have to do much in that situation, as Nkoso had no teammate support whatsoever. So he knew pass wasn't necessarily going to be on, as long as he didn't let him go a long way round or completely stood him up. Didn't have much else to do there, did Track. Some second defender help as well, as Lions still can't get out of their defensive half at the moment. Schmidt going towards Backhouse. One on the same wavelength with his striker, and Walter comes across the press. Interesting to see if the Sherman tank brings himself on here. Did so the other week, but I think it's the only time he's done it so far is the once this year. And, I think it was against Leicester City from memory.
Yeah, just brought himself on. It was a nice home game, just giving the crowd what they wanted. So maybe if they get a comfortable enough spot, and they get the free kick in a good position. That's a horrible back pass that invited all sorts of danger from a lurking McEwen. Pretty hard under the pump there. A couple of times they've been a little indecisive with their passes at the back, the Knights. Bowman came charging through there, but Samet emerged with it. Oscar Thomas just blasted on out of there. And Davis Bryant leading the foot race back there and knocks it to Lee Mackey. Bryant, Katsos to the American. Looks it forward for the ever industrious Keenan Dowse. And into a little bit of trouble there in the form of the Archer. Walter to draw the free kick. And not getting it. Unfortunate there, I feel, Alex Walter was looking for it, but there was definite contact as Tyler Harrison shows some good strength there, the Knights skipper. Naden up against Katsos, who nodded it back to Dowse. Now Downs. A little scrappy here in the early going at KG5. The Knights need a win to close the gap to Devonport, who extended their lead atop the table. The grind of a 1-0 win in the Riverside. Somewhat of a contentious win, but they just keep getting the results, the Strikers.
I mean, it's not surprising it's come from Joel Stone either. We talked him up as one of the best players in the comp. Clearly doing some magic. Walter hits that one wide of the mark. Opportunity from nothing there. Seems like they've haven't really got the ball quickly to their usual outlets so far, Knights, in the first 14 minutes. Haven't seen a great deal of Nkoso and Cade Smith. There's a nice zoom in there. Glenorchy Knights will be in fine voice here. They'll be disappointed to have, I assume, lost at the coin toss and not be going that way in the second half.
South Hobart have taken a 1-0 lead on the road to Lawney City. 12 minutes gone at Buckley Park. Alex Walter goes down. And, not sure if he said something nasty to Copper earlier in the season, but he's not getting much love from him early in this one. The Copper Chopper not having a bar of Walter's appeals for free kicks here thus far, as this one's heaved over the top. Walter, if he stayed on side, could get him behind here. Alex Walter, a great chance to open the scoring. Keeper gets a piece of it. Not enough to keep it out. Alex Walter drives the Knights into the lead. 15 minutes gone. And he jumps to the lead in the Golden Boot race.
It doesn't take much for Alex Walter. First real shot on target here in this first half, and capitalises on it. Got in behind the defence. Mackey certainly got something on it, but just trickled over the line. And Walter, well, we said he hadn't had much luck from the referee. He certainly got all the talent himself. And put the Knights 1-0 up.
Don't worry about giving me a free kick, I'll just do it myself. And that's an impressive looking salad he's got himself too.
Deserves the goal for the salad, I think. There it is, Alex Walter. I wonder if he's just having a smirk with Copra there about that decision not being given. They've really had a couple of words there as he trots back to the halfway line.
Turned out to be a good thing, because rather than being a free kick that allowed the Lions to reset their defence, sprung a counter-attack and he got him behind. And that's the way the Knights play their best football, when teams push up on them and there's space in behind for that lightning fast front three they've got. Smith, Walter and Koso. Plenty of toe amongst them, and Alex Walter continues his fine goal scoring form, his 7th of the season. It's just great to see him fully fit and at his best again, because he's one of the best wingers in the state, robbed of him in recent times. So really good to see Alex Walker back out there doing what he does best. And here's Joffrey and Koso getting around at Davis Bryan and threading it through, and Walter looking to get 2 in a minute. He's round the keeper, he's brought down. That's got to be a penalty, and it is. Lee Mackey fouls Alex Walter. Just 15 minutes in. They hadn't looked like doing a whole lot in the first 15 minutes, but they might be about to go 2 goals up.
Stonewall penalty, that one there. Alex Walter with the burst of pace. I did think it was too slightly a heavier touch. It turns out not to be so. See what he can do from the penalty spot. Looks like he's going to take it as well to extend his Golden Boot race potential. Bridges making sure Mackey's on his line. It's Walter v. Mackey. Already got one as Walter. Can he make it two? Alex Walter with the shot. Save from Mackey. Confident save there from the keeper. Good height for him as well. And Koso trying to keep the ball moving. Wasn't quite in the corner there from Alex Walter. And now McEwen tracking back, wins it for the Lions. Well, they've escaped from that one there, the Lions. Mackey redeeming himself for conceding the penalty in the first place. And Koso with the touch. Can he get around track? Good use of the body there from the defender. Back to Brian. Track trying to move forward. Actually, Falcon coach Tom Sherman is not terribly happy about. And that is a good save there from the keeper. His confidence the world of good. Brian slowing the pace down. Greatest free kick, but it's eventually flicked on by a teammate. Hole couldn't quite get it under. Now back to Harrison. Flicked on. Kansos. Haven't seen too much of him in the first 20 minutes. Phil Kansos. Back to Cowan. It's the switch on. Aims in that direction. Naden cutting it out. And Koso. The ball there for the Lions play. Given and Schmidt goes for a run down the line. Naden. Stopped by Brian. Starting to get their tails up a bit here tonight. Momentum really since that 12th minute mark. All theirs. Still only 1-0 ahead thanks to Mackey's save.
I would love to see that. Actually just rescuing the South Hobart Lonnie City stream. Our friends at the data company just hitting the half-time switch again. Thanks for that. Anyway, 1-0.
14-minute mark again.
Just had to get that out. Anyway, hopefully we get pictures here. As Knights drive the ball forward, looking for that second goal. Mackey, a redemption there after conceding the penalty. And now it's Koso driving into the box and threading a dangerous-looking ball. Was well dealt with by Cowan. Nick Naden didn't get much power as he steered his effort goal. And now he'll compete in the air. Track. Just looking for the safety of the touchline. Put it back into a dangerous area. Now again, but they get it away in the end. After that one, it was James Hall.
Schmidt. Line doing Koso. They're really favouring this left-hand side in this first half of the Knights. Muller. For the scoop pass. And cleared by the Lions. McEwen rolls Thomas quite well. He's going to have to do it all himself. Hall eventually catching up. Eventually Muller. And that one's a whack in the calf. Copper's going to allow play on. Not sure if they would have preferred the set piece there. It's Downs with the switch of play. Drops it in short. Back to Vivarelli. Use possession in the attacking half here for the Lions as Downs makes it clear. Knights finally pinned back here temporarily in their defensive third. Off short of track. First time we've seen him really get forward as Hall whips in the ball. For Samet. You can see him bombing up at the near post on that side as Walter now battling away with the American Brian. Keeper and defender always left that one a bit short, and Walter just getting there in time. It was Mackey. It's the second time we've seen his back passes potentially come up a little short as Bowman gets the 1-2 off Smith. Gives him the return ball. Douse strong in the challenge as always. Now Naden. Muller screaming for it in the middle of the park. Still hasn't got it yet. As Bowman gets his head up and looks forward. Trying to go through the Lions' defence all himself and could have left him a bit exposed there at the back as Hall picks up the pass. Schmidt does well though.
The Knights, a 1-goal lead. It probably should be a 2-goal advantage. Only miss. Just shading what's been a pretty dominant start to this game otherwise from the Glenorchy Knights. The ascendancy needing this win today. So they look to close the gap to the Devonport Strikers. They can make up 3 of the points if they were to beat them when they meet them, but they're still going to need someone else to take some points off the Strikers at some point. They need to be flawless themselves if they're to haul in what, heading into this game, stands as a 7-point advantage. Knights, of course, with this match in hand. It's just a slight delay there from the match manager, of the team manager of the Knights, giving Kenneth Track the ball back. Just how his defence just get fully set before he allows him to take the throw, and down the line he goes. Backhouse seeing that one into touch. Kenneth Track, the dangerous Geoffrey Koso matched up on him today. Quite the assignment for him. He does have the pace to stick with him. Probably about as tough a matchup as you'll get at the moment as a fullback, Geoffrey Koso. So looks to flick this one on. Backhouse in there too. Davis Brown playing in defence today. Sends that one away.
Battle of the man buns there with Davis Bryan up against Alex Walter. Obviously Walter going a bit more the style cut, and Bryan just sort of going to get all flow out underneath it. There's Track just managing to intercept, and a bit lucky with the bounce. This whole, can't get it, Davis Bryan really sick of the ball being there and just decided to kick it as far away as possible. Using Lockie Hart to come out and collect. Now it's the Knights captain, Tyler Harrison. Looks up and spies the run of Backhouse. Naden as well there. Thought it was going to roll through to Backhouse, but again, it's Track in a defensive position, right where he needed to be. The good flick on towards Samet, still running his Joel Samet, as Downs up ahead of him. Hits it first time, Samet, and I do think we have to class that as a shot off target, but not the greatest effort that Samet's ever going to have.
Yeah, probably all the evidence you need that shot tallies aren't the be-all and end-all when analysing a football match. The high danger chances might be slightly better way of looking at. That was never looking like troubling Lockie Hart, and I think he'll be perfectly content to allow them to do that all day. Although Samet, of course, has shown his chops from long range. That hit against South Hobart, just a ferocious one. Well, of course, doesn't get credit for the goal, unfortunately for him. An own goal against Reed, but that was some hit in the Lacquer Cup a couple of weeks back. Just showed he's more than capable from distance of just unleashing something the Knights, I'm sure, will be well aware of.
If you score an absolute screamer in a game that has to be replayed, does it still count as a screamer? There's a philosophical question. To ponder as Bowman gets it forward towards Muller. And quite fine Smith. Muller can't get the return ball. Downs whacks that one away. They are trying to keep McEwen up top at all times line, so they have some presence for moments like this, but Knights being able to play it around from the back far, far too easily. It's Oscar Thomas just stride forward at his leisure. Backhouse. It's come off him, so they'll have to keep that one in play. The judge for handball by the referee. Mackie not in a great rush to take. Somewhere in that direction, he's not opting for anything short, imploring all these players to push up. Not too much wind to play here at KG5, something we're not quite used to so far this season. Koso, that one on a dime. And for Walter, Cohen, good presence in the air, and Backhouse's pass eluding Walter.
Just tuning in. Apologies, working on getting the scoreboard back for you at the moment, but 1-0 the score to Glenorchy Knights. 26 minutes have it tick by here at KG5. And the Knights firmly on top. There we go, right on cue. So, and the Lions find something in the back half of this second half. They've been on the back foot throughout most of the first half so far. Knights doing the bulk of the attacking. A couple of threatening moments from out wide. It's mainly been Knights passing out from the back that's invited any danger.
On the long throw routine, Davis Bryan trotting up from centre back. Douse straight into the sun. Don't get the biggest run up on that side. He still heaves it towards the near post. One bounce and right into the grateful arms of Lockie Hart. Yeah, it's not a bad strategy, but I think every time they get Davis Bryant up for one of those long throws, I think they're just going to play an Oscar Thomas on him, which may negate the impact of such a strategy. Here's the American on the ball. And the imports staying in the state in this pandemic. Obviously out of play for a goal kick, so 7 minutes gone. It's 1-0 to the good. Muller just trying to drag Kansos out of position there by walking into the 18-yard box. Lockie Hart gets good distance on the goal kick. Flick on from Naden. Smith getting around the back as Walter up ahead if he wants him. Cuts inside as Naden to lay it off to. Naden with a little chip. Probably in two minds there about whether to have the shot or dink it to Walter. And in the end, it did neither.
Yeah, a little stuck between the pair of the options in the end there for Nick Naden. More than capable of a delicate little chipped goal. Better off just the laces through that one. Lee Mackey, interesting afternoon for him so far, conceding the penalty, then saving it. So, no harm done in the end, I suppose.
Just a slice of cheese.
Yeah.
Should that become a factor down the track?
He'll launch this one to the wings. Sun shining here on KG5. Beautiful day down in the south of the state. Here's Koso to Schmidt. Retreats to Lockie Hart. So he's going to prefer going on his left foot. Scooping this one up in the Naden direction. Just worked his opponent under the ball quite nicely. Backhouse now. Cross to Smith. Slides it through for the overlapping Bowman. Bowman's cross couldn't quite find Walter. And put behind for a corner. So good to watch when they attack through the middle and then send it to those wingers out wide with the overlapping fullbacks. Walter, just a little bump there from Davis Bryant. Subtle enough to get away with it, but always a risky manoeuvre, that one.
Hopefully the ball wasn't near him there as Koso takes the corner kick. And interesting attempted clearance there from Joel Salmon. Guess it does the business, but you know, given his history of own goals recently, a bit of a heart-in-mouth moment there. Jordy Muller trots over to take. Koso doing the same trick again, and this time just letting it go. And repeated that earlier corner attempt as Muller getting in the area. Mackey punches clear, just enough of a clearance again from Downs. Kewen trying to play in the teammate, comfortable for Bowman in the end. Muller gets it to the Archer. And looks like the Knights going to reset here, and I think Jordy Muller just wanted to pass it to the shade there, judging by his movements there before. Koso down the line to Backhouse. Walter waiting on the penalty spot. Can he get the cross in? Eventually, lays it back towards Naden, trying to get around the defender. It's Nick Naden on the tight angle. Oh, the tap in just avoided Mackey. I think he's just about saved that. Mad scramble in the box. And the Lions just doing enough on that occasion.
Barely holding on there, and they might break back the other way now. This has opened up very nicely for Kenneth Track, who's having a run at Tyler Harrison. It's Track. He's got goals in his locker. Couldn't quite get round Jordy Muller on that occasion, though. As charging forward is Nkoso. It's past one defender. Flowing into the attack and running at the American Brian. Looks to switch it up now. Picks out Cade Smith, who's forced to go back. The Lions defence doing pretty well just to hold their shape here. Knights rubbing away. One way than the other from Smith. Back to Backhouse. Backhouse's pass was a poor one, though. Easily broken up, and Kingborough try and spring the counter. McEwen presenting short. Again, he looks up.
It's not really where you want Sunday McEwen picking up the ball, is it? Usually much better in that attacking sense, peeling off the centre back. He's having to drop really deep to get a touch of the ball as Kansos goes to the aforementioned striker for the Lions, who's clearly fouled there from Bowman, and let's play on quickly. Bowman just getting himself in the way. A couple of pushes there from Sunday McEwen. Bowman ends up being the one forced to have a chat, which I don't think he's too happy about. Neither player keen to shy away from the challenge. He's still not terribly happy about that decision. Here's Bowman, and just standing 2 yards away from the free kick in protest. Now eventually goes back as Downs gets plenty of air underneath this one. Going to settle on the penalty spot. Lockie Hart punches clear. Now it's Hall. Trying to get past Schmidt and Nkoso, and Schmidt wins the challenge. He's got space to run into, and Nkoso's going to make the overlapping run soon. Creates some space to go that direction, but eventually goes back to Walter, who's joining in. McEwen being the striker who's dropping really deep. As Knights look to keep possession. It's now Harrison. Couple of options forward, but Cowan read that one a lot better than the Knights players, all three making the same on-rushing run. Lions, when they do get the ball, Andrew, not really able to connect with any of their attacking players really in this first 33 minutes.
No, it's looking rather disjointed thus far for them in attack, but we know the main threat they possess comes from set pieces, and the Lions haven't really had any looks in their attacking third to let Chris Downs get to work, the set piece magician. That's where they're going to be particularly dangerous, but just haven't been able to win any of those so far in this one. And we know that such a large percentage of their goals are coming from set pieces this year. So they'll pick their moments. It's the type of team they are. They can be outplayed, but they hang in there. They're defensively pretty resolute. They're generally pretty solid at the back, compact in midfield, and then look to take their moments when they get them. And just the one goal adrift. They saw a fight back from a goal down last week away to Lonnie City for a 2-1 win. And there was a period there in the second half that City were looking for all money, like they're going to extend their lead. That's a lovely skill there from Cade Smith, who's showing some wheels. He set himself a task here and he just couldn't quite track it down. But ever willing to take on the defenders, this young Smith.
Dropping more step-overs as well today than his fellow winger in Joffrey Nkoso. Lovely bit of skill to get around Dowse. And him on the back foot. Fleet of foot is the Knights winger, but still, despite the territorial dominance, still just the one goal ahead. And as you mentioned, Andrew, Lions still in it from that scoreline, especially after last week's come from behind victory. It's a game being played in rather difficult weather conditions compared to today.
Yeah, very much so. It was chalk and cheese with this one. It was pretty wet and windy and fair mud bath of the pitch. Here we got the sun beating down on the plastic pitch. Perfect conditions for a football game in the twilight here at KG5. The Lions, they probably prefer the tougher conditions, probably suits their style a bit more. The Knights certainly like the slick surface, so they can roll those through balls onto their quicker runners and use their attacking threat that they possess. They lead this one a goal to nil, courtesy of Alex Walter, who opened the scoring. Koso will try and chase after this one, but just a bit too central, and diving across was the American Brian.
Hasn't played too much on KG5 and not quite aware of the grazing you can get from sliding across the turf like that. Don't usually end up with them on your shoulder at KG5, but that might sting in the morning there from the American.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of the plastic pitches he would have played on. They're fairly prominent over in the States, so you'd imagine he'd be fairly experienced on the synthetic pitches, as Kansas will try and keep this one in. He's got 3 Knights players for company, and he waltzes past them all and draws the free kick from Connor Schmidt. Very nicely done from Phil Kansas.
8.5 out of 10 score there from Kansas. Going through 20th anniversary of the Olympic Games Sydney replay, and that wouldn't look too remiss out of the 1.5 metre springboard there from Kansas. Yeah, was a foul, mind you, but
absolutely, he made sure it was spotted. He absolutely made sure of that as Chris Downs punches this one in, headed away. Danny Cowan, he'll chip this one in. That was shut down though by Harrison. But those set-piece opportunities of Chris Downs, you fancy, going to be the best avenue to getting on the scoreboard today.
So going to go the long throw-in routine from Keenan Rory to Lapdouse on the far side. As soon as I say they'll probably drop it short to Kansos. As he does heave it long into the box. Intercepted by Harrison Muller. Calmly laying it back to the defender and good distance from Bowman. Really finds a teammate as well in that situation. So Lions trying to apply some pressure in these last 10 minutes. Flick on will not quite get through to Douse as Harrison comfortably clears. Haven't really spent consecutive minutes in their attacking half too often in this first half of the Lions as that one goes long. Thomas, I don't think he even jumped on that occasion as Downs' volley comfortably into the arms of Hart. We know he's capable of the long-range bomb, is Chris Downs. The volley would have been a spectacular addition to his playbook there as Thomas looks up and wants the run of Nkoso trying to go around the back of track. He's been killed. We're offside there as the king of the handles. Still 1-0 up north, Andrew, yep. So, South Hobart still looking up at Launceston City, who are very eager to get their first win on the board for the season.
Yeah, they're probably the best worst team we've ever seen in the history of the NPL Tasmania, and they're on the bottom without a win. They've been competitive in every game. They've had so many honourable losses. It's got to be frustrating for the City faithful.
I was looking the other day, they're dead last, haven't got a win. I think their goal difference is only about -10 after 8 games.
Just loving a one-goal loss this year, City. Well, not loving it, but it's certainly been the tail of their season. You've got to think that eventually it's going to break right for them. But yeah, a very frustrating season for the boys at Buckby Park. And certainly last week after taking that lead against Kingborough, ruining to think what might have been had Rigard put that header in just before half-time from close range, but they left the door ajar, and this Kingborough side have shown that if you do that, they are more than capable of hurting you, and that's a lesson the Knights might want to learn, though they might be about to go 2-0 up here. Surely a penalty to Nick Naden, I thought, and yes, he was all over him, Davis Bryan, and it is a straight red card for him too. Fair bit of shirt grabbing there, and I think it was a free kick just outside the box paid rather than a penalty, so it won't be the double blow, but that's a massive, massive blow here, and just scrapping away. Can have a few complaints there, the American.
Yes, he's got the wrong side of it. Wasn't expecting that ball to go back there from his teammates, so if they have any kind of fine structure there, I'd want the teammate to pay for that one. As he got sold down the river there, Davis Bryan, but the Lions go down to 10 men. And he tried to get away with, but when you got both arms over the top of the shoulder, dragging back an on-rushing striker, not a lot you can do. It would have been, in a weird way with these new rules, almost sensible to start at once in the 18-yard box.
Yes, with the change to the rule, as long as he's making a play on the ball, you just hack him down, concede the penalty and take the yellow card. Might have been the better outcome, but it's going to be very tough for them now, down to 10 men against this potent Glenorchy Knights side. Already trailing a goal to nothing after Alex Walter put his side ahead, and we'll see who gets the set-piece duties here. Ryan Backhouse looming over the ball, Geoffrey Nkoso there too. No Magic Man Bellini, who would normally be the first choice taker, but we'll see who fancies this one, whether it will be the right foot of Nkoso or the left of young Backhouse. Pretty good position to take a free kick from. And Willie Mackey sets up his wall. Plenty in there. This would be a massive blow if the Knights were to land something here, take a 2-goal lead and have an extra man. It'd be an absolute mountain for the Lions to climb there. So it's going to be Backhouse. He gets under it, pushes it over the top. So it remains 1-0, but they're down to 10, the Kingborough Lions.
I think the Knights really going to put their foot to the floor here. Interesting to see what they do for the next 4 minutes if they don't want to make a sub here. The Lions, obviously you could probably kick, maybe Douse inside, move Samet back. But not a great deal of other natural defenders on the park at the moment. for the Lions as Backhouse wins the header. Cohen coming across to clear. Looks like maybe it's Vivarelli that's going to temporarily slot back there. Walter running as does look like they're going to have to make a sub in order to get that defensive positioning right. See who's going to come on for the Lions. You think maybe Jackson Nugent might be the obvious target. And it is Jackson Nugent coming on.
Oh yeah, shuffle at the back required with Ryan giving his marching orders. He'll have a pretty tough task up against this attack. So the Knights would love to really twist the knife in and find a second goal before half-time. Nick Naden round the outside, sends his cross in. Backhouse was there and nods it straight to the wet area. He looks to the heavens, he knows that was a pretty good chance.
Yeah, 2 good chances in the last 2 minutes as Backhouse. But again, leaning back on that one as he did the free kick earlier. Good ball in there from Naden. I think it was Joel Samet going off as well for the Lions. He's comfortably into the wet area. Mackie doesn't quite get that one to halfway. Naden going towards Nkoso. A good burst there earlier in Nkoso. He's been pretty quiet the last 10 to 15 minutes. Kansos towards Track, who's got 3 Knights around him. This time Nkoso runs out of room. Not entirely sure what more Kenneth Track could have done there. Just had a sea of red in front of him.
Did well to win the throw in the end. The Knights certainly had the numbers. Kenneth Track, faked the long throw, then just showed a little finesse to drop it in short. Didn't mind that from him. As this one's nodded towards Muller, Naden, and Koso. Quite find the return ball for Muller, and Danny Cowan just blasted out of there. So anywhere but here will do just fine. Might be the approach, I think, here for the Lions. Just try and hold on, keep it at 1-0, and then take a chance from a set piece if you get one. But it's Alex Walter who's in behind. It's Walter who goes down. And nothing doing on this occasion. It was a good challenge. And the Knights remain just a goal to the good. And looking threatening. Alex Walter has gotten him behind a few times now. Really threatening to tear this game apart. He's the former South Hobart man as Harrison looks it back to Naden. Schmidt and Koso. So just stop on the ball and finds Backhouse, who's got a little bit of room to manoeuvre in here. Kansos working back on him. A shirt grab on Backhouse, still going. Walter across to Smith in space. Kate Smith turning, controlling. He'll wait for some support to come. In comes, so just goes himself in the end, and Danny Cowan heads it away. Downs blasts it away as we tick in to stoppage time in the first half. Nick Naden, the Knights dialing up the pressure here. He's got Joffrey Nkoso riding shotgun. Didn't really want to make too much of a run for him, but he says, just give it to me and I'll dance past one, and then drills across in and wins the corner.
Surprised Nkoso wasn't screaming for that one as he had a bit of a head start to go around the outside. Putting out some lovely tricks though to eventually get some space. And as we thought, the Knights really trying to pile on the pressure here into stoppage time as Nkoso. Corner swung in towards the near post, and that one gone wide off Walter's head, or cleared. No, did get the touch off Nugent in the end. Yeah, definitely off the tall defender as Nkoso has another go. A bit more air underneath this one. And still in play there from Thomas. Naden battling with Mackie, who comfortably claims. Was ready to give the free kick anyway, but rare you see the ball bounce towards the back of the 6-yard box there.
The backside of the 6-yard box, a very rare sight indeed there, as wasn't particularly well dealt with by the Lions initially. Mackie bailing them out with a strong pair of hands. As the Lions look to venture forwards late in the first half here. Down to 10 with Davis Bryan sent off, but Keenan Dowse does the work of 2 men, so he's going to have to really keep that work rate going in the second half. He's tireless in wide areas, is Keenan Dowse. And he's done well to get round one here. Can he pick out a target with his cross? He found only Geordie Muller, who sweeps that one away. Sends it to Alex Walter, and that will end the first 45 here at KG5. Glenorchy Knights leading a goal to nil. Alex Walter had an eventful first half. He scored a goal. He won a penalty. The penalty was then saved by Mackie. And then Davis Bryan was responsible for a dog-so foul on Walter. So he got his marching orders. And that's why the Lions are a goal down and a man down at the main break.
Yeah, it's going to be an all uphill here for the Lions in the second v third matchup. You've got to think the Knights with home advantage look to capitalise. Only the one goal so far, as you mentioned, and Lions do have the capacity to come back. But I do think it's going to be all uphill. Walter looks on song here in this first half. The old penalty save, it wasn't the greatest penalty, so full credit to Mackie for the save. You've got to think this one is Knights' game to lose here in this upcoming second half.
Yeah, it's going to take a serious second half effort from the Kingborough Lions, but whilst they remain just a goal adrift, they'll believe they can find something. If they can get a free kick anywhere really in their own half, there'll be a threat with Chris Downs delivering it. That's what they'll hang their hopes on. They'll need some more gritty defence in the second 45, which we will be back to bring to you in around about 15 minutes time as the Knights look to close the gap to the strikers at the top of the table. We go 2-0 up here. Surely a penalty to Nick Naden, I thought. And yes, he was all over him, Davis Bryan. And it is a straight red card for him too. Fair bit of shirt grabbing goal before half time. Nick Naden round the outside, sends his cross in. Backhouse was there. And nods it straight to the wet area. He looks to the heavens, he knows that was a pretty good chance. Take a chance from a set piece if you get one, but it's Alex Walter who's in behind. It's Walter who goes down, and nothing doing on this occasion. It was a good challenge. And
really trying to pile on the pressure here onto Stoppage Jones. And Koso, corner, swung in towards the near post, and that one, it's all defenders. And Koso has another go. A bit more air underneath this one. And still in play there from Thomas. Naden battling with Mackie, who comfortably claims.
Half at KG5. Glenorchy Knights leading the Kingborough Lions 1-0-0. Alex Walter deep in conversation with Brenton Copper, and a fair bit to chat about in that first half. A couple of fouls not blown his way, then there was the penalty and the red card he was involved in. He's been at the centre of everything. He's on the score sheet, and it's Knights 1-0. But more crucially, Paul Hunt, heading into the second half, it's the Lions down to 10 men.
I think that is what's going to be the killer for the Lions. We saw them make a comeback against Lottie City last week. That was with 11 players, and this is with 10, and it's going to be very difficult. It was Davis Bryan sent off for those just tuning in. And had to make a sub as well because of it, with Nugent holding down that centre-back position. It'll be interesting to see what the tactics are in this second half. Sunday McEwen spent plenty of time alone up top for the Lions, and I reckon it'll be a similar role as Downs. I think he's going to do a bit of that maybe here in this second half if he spots the keeper off his line or if they get a free kick.
Don't mind it. Don't mind that man having shies from range. He's earned that right, Chrissy Downs. He's having himself a pretty handy season. He's Lions number 10. He's really made his presence felt. Made himself 3 goals, equal top of the assist charts with 5. 3 secondary assists, 11 of their goals he's been pretty directly involved in this year, which tells the story. And he is such a danger. And he's given time to strike in midfield, and all the more when he's given time over a dead ball. Here's Jack Bowman. Alex Walter, the short option for him. Surrounded by Lions, and the little nutmeg on Danny Cowan, and Jack Bowman just caught Nugent by surprise there with his bursting run. And he'll win a corner. I don't think he was expecting Bowman to continue on there.
Yeah, both Bowman continue, and the ball to get right through the legs of his teammate. First corner of this second half, and doesn't look like the Knights have made any changes at half-time. And why would you in their relatively comfortable position as Geordie Muller awaits a ball to be delivered to him. Not a great deal of hurry. Interesting to see if Koso makes one of his doubting runs. Tall timber up as well for the Knights as Muller offs this one near post, takes a bounce, no one there. Comfortable for Kansas to clear. Muller with the outside of the foot. Thomas rising high, always going high rather than down, and that's another shot off target for the Knights as we see them have 6 corners so far, and I reckon the amount of possession and territory they're likely to have in this half, that number is only set to increase as Mackie, the penalty saver, launch this one long. Cancels Bowman. Rising high, the ball will fall fortunately to Walter. Walter sizing up again, and good save from Mackie. Walter, chance to make it two. Lions wanting a free kick. You've got to say, Alex Walter one-on-one with the keeper. You'd almost expect the back of the net to be rustling then.
Yeah, good save from Mackie, but did make it relatively straightforward for him there, Walter. Just putting it a little too centrally at the keeper, giving him a play on the ball. Good reaction all the same, but he really has been the centre of absolutely everything in this match. There's Alex Walter. There's Geordie Muller. Comes across to take the corner. Just chips one in. Headed straight back to him. Drifts onto the left, and now doesn't get much on that. Dowse steered it away, and now Schmidt rises. Walter showing good strength, but Mackie will come and collect. Just a slightly heavy touch in the end there from Alex Walter.
Someone goes along to the substitute Jack Martin, so another change for the Lions at half-time. 2 subs already in use. Interesting to see who's come off for them. And there's Lockie Hart. Gets his first touch of the half. Harrison lets that one run, leaves in hole. Just gets it to his teammate in Bowman. Looking to get forward here this half as Bowman. It's a lovely throw looking for Smith, who couldn't quite make the run.
Right idea, just not quite the direction there on that occasion. As Downs smashes this one along, and Harrison breaking that one up.
It'll be Vivarelli that's come off at half-time. Just double-check that one. Don't see him in the middle of the park as Cowan gets that one up to hole. Now Dowse. Just the one to aim for. Thomas comfortably clears. Nugent will have a second go at it against Walter, who wins the second ball, and Track comfortably comes around to collect. Yeah, I don't think it's Merton for Track. Oh, sorry, not for Track, for Vivarelli. As Walter charges that one down.
Maybe a bit of a shift to the formation there from Jez Kent. We'll see how that plays out. Obviously, something he was planning on, having his starting centre-back red-carded and down to 10 men having to chase the game. It's going to require a modicum of creativity. Sherman not overly thrilled with that throw-in decision there. As Dowse wanders in front of him and throws it to Kansos, back to Keenan Dowse. Rolls his foot over it. He's got 3 for company, so wisely popped it back to Kansos. Heavy first touch from Naden. In the end, a poor ball from Kansos, but Naden couldn't quite control it. And it's the Lions probing away early on here.
It'll be a while till we see that ball come back, I reckon, as the throw-in comes in. It's certainly gone into the neighbour's yard. Lead in Walter here, who's got the pace to get around Nugent. He's gone around him, does Walter. Another chance for Alex Walter. This time it makes absolutely no mistake. 2-0 to the Knights. Leading scorer, Alex Walter, once again on the score sheet. He's had some game here this afternoon as the Knights striker. And that one could just about put the game to bed. 2 goals for Walter. Knights pulling further away. Gets the congratulations from his teammate.
There's real synchronicity being showed. Casper Hallam literally the exact same second has put South Hobart 2-0 up at Buckby Park. So he's got a brace, and Alex Walter's got a brace. 2 of the league contenders for the Golden Boot, just going goal for goal.
Does Casper Hallam get the slight edge for being on the front page of the Mercury today as well, in who's having a better Saturday?
He's got that going for him, but I think Alex Walter's enjoying his work. He is a force up there. 2-goal lead, an extra man. The Lions, they lost 5-0 last time they played at KG5 against South Hobart and really imploded in that second half. You wonder how much that might prey on their minds here. It's a real mountain for them to climb now, isn't it?
It certainly is. With South winning up at Lonnie City, can they leapfrog Kingborough in the table?
I think so. I'll double check that for you.
Bowman's touch. Can't quite get there, and Backhouse is just... Oh, he's actually injured sitting in the middle of the park. I thought he was doing his shoe up there at first glance. He's been down on the ground there, Backhouse, and doesn't look like he can get up in a great rush. Looking at the ankle and leg area as Yeah, South can do the leapfrog.
Yeah, goal difference is even, so obviously they jump ahead of them into to third place on 15 points if these two results hold in the second half. Olympia still to play against Clarence Zebras in the derby later on, and that could see them potentially vault back above both of Kingborough and South into third. So a pretty tight battle shaping for third place between those teams. Knights, of course, chasing down the Devonport Strikers, who began this 90 minutes with a 7-point advantage. Looks like that'll be shaved back to 4 again, barring anything too dramatic.
Keeping some semblance of a title race in this shortened NPL Tas season. It has looked like on a couple of occasions Devonport might pull away, but not quite too far in front for the Knights, especially with them to play each other again at KG5. As Walter chases after this one, battling away against Nugent again, crossing it in. Called for offside there, the striker.
He only dropped points again today, but some Academy Award winning stuff from Charleston.
Yeah,
saw that.
Caught me off guard as I didn't watch the Devonport game, I'll be honest. I was over at the Women's Super League at Wentworth Park, had a quick look at half time, and 5 stars, Joel Stone, as superb work. There's plenty of injury concerns going into that match. Devonport at home in the driving rain, which is such an odd concept to get around given the day we've had here in Hobart. As Bowman clears that one out, but Devonport doing the business. I'm not sure. I'd love to see the post-match quotes from Riverside's coach as well. I don't think Alex Gaetani would be too happy about that.
Wouldn't have thought he'd be thrilled with that one. They've done pretty well to hold out to that point. Young Jared Hill was having a good game, but them's the breaks, and Devonport just keep finding a way to win. And as I say, it's the sign of a champion team when, even if they're not at their best, they can get results. And Devonport team just continue to find ways to win football games. So Knights will have their work cut out trying to chase them down, but they'll look to boost their goal difference today with a few more in the second half perhaps. The game well within their keeping at the moment. Naden to Backhouse, turns onto the left and then stands one up. Found only Kenneth Track though. Chris Downs blasting that one away. Bowman, the Archer, a little nudge in the back there. He brought back. Well, he does let them go, Brenton Copper, and we're seeing that today. Well kept in by Smith. Naden steering towards Alex Walter, couldn't quite find him. Back to Danny Cowan.
Big fan of Bowman just falling right at the feet of Jez Kent, and the coach of the Lions just standing there being like, yeah, cool, what are you doing here?
No free kick.
Not a free kick, I'm not helping you up, you're in my bench.
Get out of here, boy.
But, quite as dramatic a tumble as Brendan Copper as was at the end of that second half, but you know, plenty of players falling over here this afternoon. As much as we love the work the referees do in the middle, is always still quite funny when they fall over. Here's Bowman. Chest control, slightly eluding him now, trying to get the body back on Kansos. Wins comfortably Kansos. Not terribly happy with that treatment. Oh, they're going at it. And Kansos and Bowman trying to body up to Jack Bowman's an interesting tactic there from Kansos. He's now Nkoso on the far side. Trying to get around Track, who, to be honest, has done pretty well on Nkoso so far this match. Only really got around the back once, maybe twice in that first half. Through ball cut out. The aforementioned Track Muller winning the header on Sunday McEwen, who's dropped deeper and deeper as this match has gone on. Milky can comfortably collect. Can launch along in the Nkoso direction. Doesn't even challenge Track on that occasion. Schmidt forward towards Walter. Can he get a hat-trick? The Magic Man, he's got no one really available, so he goes back to Nkoso.
From range.
They have in this half, that number, Smith. He's looking to flick it on. Now Naden. Trying to get around Kansos. Smith will pick it up. Naden turning to get around Dowse. Can he find the through ball? Goes towards low. Back post. Walter. Hat-trick hero for the Knights. What an afternoon Alex Walter's having. And of his 3 goals, that one probably the easiest.
Yeah, simple tap in there for Alex Walter. He's got 9 on the season now. A handy little hat-trick. He's rounding into some pretty impressive form. And this one, as you say, pretty simple. Nick Naden The brilliant cross just takes the defence and the keeper completely out of the picture. Bobbing up at the back stick is Walter. For the third time this afternoon. He's in a rich vein of form, this man. And Glenorchy Knights storming to a victory here at KG5. And pretty much game over at this point, still with 33 to play. I don't think the 10 men are digging themselves out of this hole.
No, not when they've already conceded 2, as it looks like they're going to make their third and final sub for the afternoon. Paul coming off for the Lions. And Vincent Turner coming on. Looks like he's going to play in defence at the moment is Turner. But yeah, can't see a way back for the Lions at the moment. Dropping them in 4th place. This result should South Hobart continue to be in front, and then potentially 5th with Olympia's game coming on after this. There's Kansos. And it's a douse. Sounds forward. Smith the throw in and getting in. Looks like Nugent's going to go and play up top, and it's going to be Lions, which I wasn't expecting. Sherman again. Not agreeing with that decision. Incredulous in the technical area is the Shermanator. It's Douse. Clicked on by Nugent. Hart should comfortably collect this one. Throw that one out towards Schmidt, who's got plenty of space to run into. As Nkoso on his outside and hits it to the king of the handles, going around the outside of track. Naden wanting it at the top of the box and getting it. Naden wants to shift onto the right. Now Smith. And Schmidt up for company. Douse does well and clears that one into touch.
I mean, given the 4-point margin, highly improbable goal difference is going to enter into the title race. Mathematically, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It takes some really weird results. Nevertheless, they could just about really put a fair gap between the two, with a fairly handy buffer already over the Devonport Strikers, courtesy of these 3 goals. And, you know, you never know. Always worth running up the score where possible. Forgets the sportsmanship stuff. When it comes to league titles, you need every advantage you can get. So that one will avoid Geoffrey and Koso. What was a weird one for me? I always thought it was kind of more demeaning to stop playing against an opposition. Isn't that more embarrassing?
I think there is a point where it does get too far.
About 15.
Yeah, I was about to say double figures. Yeah, I think when it gets to double figures, it gets a bit demeaning. But if you think 3, 4, 5, like that actually does matter in a title race.
I've always, it's a strange concept. One of them, I'm sure the traditionalists will argue with me. But here's Kate Smith, a chance to make it 4. Didn't get much power on that. Yeah, I always thought if you're an opposition player and they genuinely stop trying to achieve the objective of the game, to me that's more belittling than putting another 3 or 4 past you.
Absolutely. I do hark back to the days in under 12s where I may have been on 5 goals and got quote to stop scoring goals, so I just put myself at left back, and I still remember that to this day, so I'm perfectly with you there. Hate being physically told to stop scoring.
So I don't think there'll be any issues with that here today. It's the Knights 3-0 lead. I don't think the Lions are going to leak that many at this point anyway, but it's not been a happy hunting ground for them. This ground KG5 this season. They'll be glad tonight to make another trip here as Backhouse will roll this one back to Muller and Koso. Geoffrey and Koso squaring it up for Naden. And then Schmidt charging through. It's Connor Schmidt. He's shot blocked by Danny Cowan. Rebound falls to Geoffrey and Koso. Driving the cross and then steered home for goal number 4. It's Connor Schmidt. It's 4-0 Knights. They're running rampant. And they are sailing off into the distance now, Paul.
They certainly are. Connor Schmidt bobbing up on this occasion. Don't often see him in that kind of striker's poaching area on the 6-yard line. Usually see him out in defence, but Koso finally really getting at least around the back of Kenneth Track and comfortably slotting that one home as Schmidt. 4-0 to the Knights. Man, Lions, well, as you mentioned, Andrew, their last game here against South 5-0. At least going to aim to try and keep it below that. The heads do look to have dropped here, particularly since that 3rd goal went in. Just tell by the body language. And look, they'll want to keep this from becoming a cricket score, I think. As it's cleared. Well, actually Martin has not quite got his header in the right direction there. For a second there, he's clearing that header.
Yeah, the 10 men on the really big pitch is proving quite the issue, especially against this attack. I mean, this is a Knights team that have made many a defence look second rate already this season. And undermanned, they are struggling to handle what's being thrown at them. Keenan Dowse with some fancy footwork like that from him. Can he spark something? It's a good ball for Adam McEwen. The Lions now on the counter. Sunday McEwen running at Tyler Harrison. Drops it off. Will he be able to track it down? Not quite, Martin. And that sums up the current state of affairs for the Lions here. Past the hour mark, trailing 4-0 up north. A 2-0 lead to South Hobart over Launceston City. Earlier in the day, Devonport 1-0 over Riverside.
Knights fan at the back of the goal there was really some concerns for where his head was going to be ended up with how much Martin cleared that one, hoping he hit that into the fence. As that chip ball makes Bowman go back. Sunday McEwen be looking to get onto the score sheet here this afternoon. Score of 98 NPL Tas goals, so only 2 away from the big 100. So if they do get a consolation, it'd be nice if it's him. Be good to have another one in the 100 club. And there's Nkyoso. Again, trying to turn around track, and this time goes the inside route. Has Bowman as an option. Lays it off to the Archer. There's a plethora of options. Inside is Smith. He's got so much time to turn, Smith. He can turn almost every direction of the compass there. Walter. Back to Nkoso. He'd be very keen to get on the score sheet. Good job for Nkoso. Out to Schmidt. Backhouse wanting it short. Walter there at the near post, but a bit too near, and Mackie has the near post covered. Long ball towards Nugent. Touch very heavy. Downs does well to prevent that from going towards Nkoso, but now it's Backhouse and a foot race with Turner. Turner clearing only as far as Schmidt. Knights players queuing up about that 40-yard out from goal area. Now Naden, his eyes light up, wants it on the right peg. Jinking inside Naden, gets past Cowan, now centres it. Oh, has that gone in? It has! Well, I didn't know where that clearance went from Turner, and to be honest, I don't think Mackie did either, and that's number 5. And a certain OG, that one.
Yeah, own goal against Turner, although Brenton Copra is coming to have a conversation with his linesman, Monty Peace. We'll see what the outcome is. Maybe don't put goal number 5 in just yet. As it appears not going to be a goal. Goal kick, so we need to have another look at this, but let's have a look here. Nick Naden, see if we can spot what might have led to it being disallowed. Naden, the cross in, deflected off Turner.
I think what they're going for...
Saying Walters fouled the keeper?
I think they're saying Walters handballed. I just saw him walk away like that. That's the only thing I can think of, and whilst it was probably absolutely accidental with the new rules now, if it goes in, it doesn't matter if you meant it or if you're where your arm really is. You've got to give it away. That's my theory. Could be a foul on the keeper as well.
As good a guess as any. I think you're probably on the money there. So that one chalked off, and it remains 4-0 for the time being. Thanks, Walter. Well, if he did get a piece of it, that would have been his 4th. He's skipped ahead in the Golden Boot race. Start of the day equal with Sunday McEwen, 6 apiece. He's now jumped up to 9 with 5 rounds remaining. He's the reddest of hot favourites now to take out the Golden Boot, Alex Walter. And he might not be done scoring today just yet either. Backhouse up against Track here as he tried to see it out. Backhouse kept it in, that allowed Track back. And Turner, turning into danger. Straight to Alex Walter, eventually heaves it forward. One back by the Giraffe, Oscar Thomas. He'll have a little saunter forward. That's his former South Hobart teammate in Downs. And Koso turning inside. Walter just shielding the ball and knocked it back to Joffrey and Koso. He's got Smith in support, but the flag had been raised. It will be brought back for a free kick, and I think Joffrey and Koso, the way he's cradling that ball, he might just fancy a shot here.
Given Backhouse's last attempt, I think he's been told by Nkoso to clear off.
Although, he is a free kick taker.
Will he run on first touch, put it top bins? Be great areas if the Magic Man could do that.
He's the type who could well do it. Nick Naden being replaced with an industrious shift from him today. And another good performance. Now, I don't know if Bellini's the type. I don't know if he's got the personality to just try and pull rank. Good luck removing this one from Nkoso, as Launceston City have pulled one back up north. 2-1 the score now up there.
If anyone, I've never noticed it, well, Bellini was just running on there from behind. A lot of Alessandro Diamante vibes about him with the strut and that kind of haircut as well. I'm getting a lot of Diamante from the Magic Man Bellini. Certainly both equally as good free kick takers as well.
Indeed, but it's going to be Nkoso here. There was no doubt over that. Clasping that ball. He was pretty keen to take it on. So what has he got in his locker here? The king of the handles. He steps up and finesses one, which sure is spilt by Mackie. There was no real venom on the shot. Plenty of spin though, and that just created the fumble.
Yeah, must have taken a wicked spin off the flat surface, but now it's Schmidt in on goal, looking for number 2, Connor Schmidt. Good save from Mackie. Walter looking for number 4, wants to lay it off to a teammate. Very nice of him. Bellini at the top of the box. Lays it off to Smith. Oh, lovely turn there from Kate Smith. You've got to hit this one, Smith. Great clearance there from Cowan. As the camera angle showed, that was heading bottom corner. And he's had a few times where he could have done that so far, Kate Smith.
Have another look here. Hearing it on goal. Good save, Lee Mackie. Denying Connor Schmidt a brace, so he's sensing the chance to get in on it here. He already scored one. And lovely footwork there. Corner swung in, headed away by Danny Cowan. Connor Schmidt back out to Nkoso off the woodwork. Back down, Smith. Oh, clever from Smith. The flag had been raised. Referee Nkoso denied by the woodwork there. Knock on the door for goal number 5. And it feels like only a matter of time before they blow that door down.
It's not far off there from Nkoso. Mackie thought about sticking a hand up. Wasn't getting anywhere near that. There's Smith, unfortunately, offside, but to say they're queuing up is an understatement here, the Knights. And interesting to see who ends up. It really is a case of who is getting the next one, as Kansos heads that one forward. Bowman with the up and under. Still in play. No one really making a play for it, and Walter certainly going to have a try now. Gets around Danny Cowan. Walter charging into the box. Decides to set up Nkoso! And it's just gone wide. Good save from Mackie in the end. Well, it seemed to go in slow motion there until Walter turned on the jets. And then Nkoso getting there. And there's a good save from Mackie.
Save. Sticks out the right leg. Enjoyed that one, Lee Mackie, judging by his reaction, and rightfully so. That's a great piece of keeping, and he's not getting a lot of support from the defence in front of him. They're being sliced through a bit too easily at the moment. Oh, spilt by Mackie there. Oh, that one invited danger. And maybe he just looked to thump this one along and relieve some of the pressure that's building. It is Knights just with an absolute onslaught right now. I feel it's only a matter of time till they add to their lead. Jack Bowman might just concede a corner here as that one has spun, and it'll be a throw in, but very, very deep. As he hacked the clearance. He's going to perhaps have another substitution here.
Just actually been looking at that team sheet just before, but it doesn't look like they actually are, unless someone's trotted off from the far sideline.
Perhaps not. Well, we'll see the long throw from Dowse instead. Repelled away by the Knights centre-half duo, and now Joffrey Nkoso. Got a long way to go, and Kenneth Track wanted it a little bit more, but Nkoso, a tough man to shrug off. Eventually he did so. And down the line. Pass in the end. 4-0 the score.
I was wondering if Muller would feel his head there, because he did cop a lot of Oscar Thomas's scone on his face there just before. As they will make the sub now. Wise not to do it from their defensive corner just before the Knights. Bowman will make way. Oh, it's Walter. see. And get the round of applause. He so richly deserves for his hat-trick there, Walter. And coming on, Harry Anderson, and a return to Thomas Bellini, the OG Salad, back on the pick. Back on the pitch, that's what we love to see.
Yeah, the Salad Bellini and the Magic Man Bellini, both of them out there now. As to their bench, a bit of trickery between those two. Imagine what the backyard games must have been like there. Just very, very skillful duo. Thomas and Alex.
Between those two and Koso, Smith, Walter, it'd be quite the pre-training rondo you'd get down at Knights.
Yeah, I'd imagine Sham would be putting them through their paces, and some pretty nice stuff going as McEwen chasing after this one. They might not be able to get a result today, but he could still get himself a goal and get himself in that golden boot race with Walter now off and going to add to it. His lead now sitting at 3. What a performance from Alex Walter. The 3 votes headed his way this afternoon, and I reckon he's picked up a few this season. He'll be firmly in the mix for the medal at the end of the year. There's Bellini. Rolls it through to Nkoso, got the return ball. Now shifts it across for Smith, who's got Bellini used as a decoy, and then he instead rolled it to Nkoso. Geoffrey Nkoso to Thomas Bellini with room to shoot. Rebound, stroked home by Smith. Is the flag up? It's a muted celebration, but it wasn't up. It's 5-0. It's Kate Smith on the score sheet, and the rout continues.
He's deserved a goal this afternoon, Kate Smith, and his trickery down the wing has created a few good opportunities. There's an example from early on in the piece, and eventually it does return to him. Backhouse with the initial shot, and yeah, Cullen playing him onside there in the centre. Just had to pick his spot. Mackie going the other way. 5-0. Knights getting to make that goal difference count here against the Strikers. I think they had 2 or 3 goals up on them before this game, so really extending that lead. And geez, that kickoff routine didn't quite work a treat there as Nkoso immediately dispossesses Downs. Couldn't quite make an immediate impact as Bellini out to Geordie Muller popping up on the left wing. Back towards Schmidt. Bellini thought about having a shot, wanted to play it to Backhouse, now does. Schmidt calling the shots, looking towards the near post. Bellini was there, and Cullen really sick of seeing the ball in his area. Knocks it all the way to Harrison, and I tell you what, he nicked that one short for his teammate. And the Magic Man Bellini. Might see some nice 1-2s in the last 15 minutes if you can combine with Thomas. And this time it's intercepted. Martin playing it towards Nugent. Thomas reading that through ball very quickly, and they're when they're getting the ball, Knights in defence, they're not even really trying to clear it out of play. As Nkoso still going, Cowan wanted the offside flag up, and after he finally took a touch, it was forthcoming. But yeah, Knights not even really trying to clear the ball out. They know they've got the numerical advantage, and really trying to find a teammate whenever the ball goes anywhere near their defensive players.
It was second v third, a potential tight matchup heading into it. It's been anything but. The extra man really standing out in the second half. The Glenorchy Knights 1-0 up at the break, but they've been all over him in the second half. They don't particularly like this ground, Kingborough, and playing with a man short against the league's best attack has really seen the damage be done. And they'll slide back down the table. It'll be an interesting little battle for third place in the league this season. And the Knights, well, they'll keep up their pursuit of the Devonport Strikers. So still a tough match for them. They've got to travel down and take on Olympia. That'll be a tough one for them. And obviously, it goes without saying, Knights will need to beat Devonport when they play them. But the gap will remain at 4 points. And highly improbable goal difference does come into it. It'll be a bizarre set of results, but they've certainly got that edge on them now after today. Do the Knights. This one's played forward by Schmidt. Quite finding his man out there in Bellini, and Tracker scoring it over the line. Still 2-1 up at Buckby Park in favour of South Hobart.
Kingborough have to make that the longest road trip in the NPL up to Devonport next week. Glenorchy Knights not quite as far an away trip. Still got to go to Launceston City, Buckby Land Rover Park. Three make it 3 home games in a row for Lonnie City as well. They'll be getting pretty comfortable in their home ground. As Downs plays the chip ball forward and Thomas striding forward. Now Bellini. There's a teammate there, and there is in Smith. Henderson continuing on running, and many ways to get around Dowse. Went the aerial route and got his head in the way. It'll be interesting to see if Kingborough next week can end up doing the Knights a favour and taking some points off the strikers up there. There's Muller directing traffic, and now it's Schmidt who's continued to bomb on as the second half has progressed. Backhouse, and it's Bellini. A lovely turn from Bellini. And just getting back his track in the end. Now cleared by Schmidt.
Another interesting live score going on at the moment is Hobart United leading Olympia 2-0 in the Southern Championship. Could be 1 point separating the top 4 of that competition after today, and that is going to be a real exciting league, the end of the season there. Eagles, Olympia, University and Hobart United all separated by 1 point. It'll be Eagles on top and then 3 teams on to 21 below them.
I wouldn't have any issue with a end-of-season Hobart United game again. It's become an almost tradition the last couple of years here at Slice of Cheese.
It's become a staple, hasn't it?
Always in fine voice the Hobart United fans as McEwen running it forward. That's surely a foul by Thomas, and he is on Martin. So yeah, Newtown playing Kingborough's championship side last night, coming out victorious.
Oh, Kingborough v University final round. It's unfortunately smack bang in the middle of the NPL games. We'll see what we can do. It's going to be interesting.
I'm happy to do that one solo if necessary. We can split the team up.
It's more an issue of getting cameras, but we'll have a look into that, folks, because that league is headed for a thrilling conclusion. There's Chris Downs with the set piece. He's very much in his wheelhouse. Can he provide some highlight for his team today? It's been a pretty dim day, but up steps Downs. And that was far from his best work. Excuse that one over the bar.
He's used to having free kicks closer to halfway rather than one so close, I think, there, Downsy. Usually a much better exponent of the set piece. Is Southern Championship only the 11 rounds this year, I think, so he'll be coming to conclusion a bit earlier in the NPL, so it'll be very interesting to keep an eye on that. There's Muller. It's the return ball. Anderson screaming for it on the grandstand side. Eventually get there. No, Harrison decides not to. Needs to give his keeper a touch. Here's Selmas. Right, I think they've got to 5 here and just looking for the right opportunity. Maybe trying to draw the Lions out and creating a bit of space in behind around halfway. And that's where Hart goes. Bellini. It's the flick. Track covering again. Turner. Looking for Sunday McEwen. Mentioned he's getting ever closer to that 100-goal mark. Only Braden Mann hitting that in the NPL Taz history. As
Dave for hat-tricks.
Up north.
Casper Allen again. So he moves to 7 goals and closes within 2 of Walter. So McEwen is now dropped down to 3rd in should be an exciting little golden boot race. But geez, what a day for Casper Allen, as you say. Star of the newspaper, just bagging a hat-trick.
I think South are going to try to arrange that for every Saturday now. So it's a lovely ball through to Nkoso, who's not on the score sheet this time, and that's not the greatest effort from Joffrey Nkoso. Probably had time to take a touch. Wanted the spectacular, and still 5 goals here at KG5. Allen doing the damage up there. Lonnie City getting it back to 2-1, but looks like some of the suspense is going to come out of that game with that goal.
I think there was one against the runner play. Looking at the stats up there, 17 shots to 2, 15 corners to 2 in favour of South. I think that would have been pretty filthy had they not won that one. But Casper Hallam and Alex Walter, 2 of the players of the season in the NPL this year. Bright attacking talents, as is that man, Bellini, and he chips this one over the top. Looking for Tommy Bellini. Couldn't quite find him. This one ticks towards its conclusion. The Glenorchy Knights going to be resounding winners. And they're really going to rue that loss down at the Den earlier in the season, you feel. A 2-0 result to Kingborough. They probably missed 3 or 4 chances from inside the 6-yard box that night. The headers, they were just the plague of them that evening. They missed several absolutely golden opportunities. And the plucky Lions outfit did the job and took their chances at the other end. But in the wash-up at the end of the season, it could prove something they really rue. Because really, since that night down at the Den, they've played some really good football and have looked the best side in the league. But Devonport, well, they're relentless. They just keep getting results. And a nil in the box seat for what would be a pretty remarkable three-peat. And 4 league titles in 5 years. What a football club they are, as players somehow allowed to continue here. Well, he's consistent, as he is Nkoso looking to make it 6. Can you get him behind? Joffrey Nkoso to the byline, just running out of real estate there. And he'll take the corner.
You know, you've always got to play on when there's Brendan Copper refereeing. Let's plenty go. We've known about it for years and years. Nothing new. The Knights, as you can tell from this enthusiasm for the corner, not in a great rush. And yeah, it's, as they do take the corner quickly, Bellini sizes up the shot, cleared by Turner. And it'll be the throw in. Thinking Koso wanted that one to be a corner. Knights still looking for a 6, but starting to get a little sloppy with their play. Usually, in a normal season, you'd have the cup matches coming in the middle of the league season, and usually Devonport would get an advantage from that. But obviously, the semi-finals and final of the Lacquer Cup not happening till after the NPL season, so that's not really an issue for either side. Towards the end, as Mackie chips that one forward. Leany flying the press. Turner trying to run out of real estate here, the Lions. Knights do end up with it. Bellini, lovely ball through to Nkoso. Has Smith centrally, but can't quite get it to his teammate. And now Dowse, he's still full of running, despite being down to 10. Crossfield ball looking for McEwen, but Thomas thumps that one clear. Way back to the keeper. Knights, since they've got the 5th, not playing with too much urgency. There's Thomas. And a lot of possession for the Knights in this second half, as expected after the red card to Davis Bryan. Cohen, heavy touch, lets in Nkoso. Tries to get on the right peg. Nkoso back on the left. Joffrey Nkoso makes it 6 for the Knights. Pouncing on a mistake. And finally gets on the score sheet as the king of the handles.
He's been threatening all afternoon, Joffrey Nkoso, and just a lovely finish there with the left foot from the top of the box. Steers it into the corner. Cohen just miscontrolling that one, and then bang, sends him to go get a hot dog. Turns on to the left and picks out the bottom corner to perfection. That is delightfully done by Joffrey Nkoso. A stranded Lee Mackie looks on forlornly. It's Glenorchy Knights 6, it's Kingborough Lions nothing, and this has been an absolute rout.
Getting close to big scoreline of the season here, territory for the Knights. Not what you'd usually expect in a second v third contest in the NPL Taz. There's Nkoso now trying to get past Cancels to no avail. We actually had a 6-0 so far this season. We had 5-0 Riverside against Olympia. And there's Smith now on the ball. Is he going to try and play in Nkoso, and does? Can he get the return ball? Turner coming across. Nkoso keeping it. Back to Smith. Now really lining up and straight at the keeper from Backhouse. Queuing up the Knights. Could have hit that really anywhere to the entire left-hand side of goal. And just hit it straight down the throat of the keeper. There's Schmidt now. Another one on the score sheet for the Knights here this afternoon. Bellini and Koso.
That tells the story, doesn't it? It is pretty decisive. And they still might not be done yet. It's the Magic Man Bellini who couldn't quite find goal number 7. And you're right, the two biggest one-sided results of the season, both Kingborough Lions at KG5. 5-0 to South was the biggest beforehand. Olympia 5-1 Riverside at Warrior Park second. And now 6-0. And they were sitting second on the table to come head into this fixture with. And they really do not like this ground.
Yeah, as you say, luckily, unless something untoward happens, they don't have to play here again. Obviously, that match with South Hobart was due to a particularly rainy Sunday we had here in Hobart. Is going to be pulled back for a free kick. Offside the call. Cancels. Usually see him out on the wing, dropping really deep for the moment is Dowse.
Got bad news for the Kingborough faithful out there, mate.
The
replay of the quarterfinal against South Hobart.
Not at Lightwood Park.
Will be at KG5. So they're going to need to find something before that one.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, they won't be filled with confidence, I wouldn't have thought, heading into that match. Wednesday, September 30th will be that game. So
maybe being wholly at night might help them.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Jez Kenther's going to have to dig deep and find something else. I mean, staying with a full complement of 11 is probably the main thing they need to worry about, because that's been the biggest factor today in the second half. I think a few heads dropped once that second and third goal went in. They realised the game was done, but take nothing away from Glenorchy Knights. They've been absolutely scintillating today. Played some great football. Continue to do so. Very free scoring right now. James Sherman didn't get the results he was after last year. Was a frustrated figure at times, but he's absolutely got this team humming along now.
They certainly do, as we're soon to tick into stoppage time. Harrison comfortably clearing that one. But, me having absolutely no real concept of time and dates this year. That replay isn't too far away. It's only about two weeks away.
Yes, sub 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks away. There's a fairly blatant shirt tug on Connor Schmidt. Advantage played and took it to pick out the salad Bellini, who has his effort blocked by Cowan. Turner, coughed it up to Nkoso. That's inviting danger. The fairly tame little ball back inside from him, though.
Be a bit cruel if we had the usual copra time amount of stoppage time here. Not whilst there are times where we love the 6 minutes for slightly unknown reasons. Certainly don't think the Lions will be after that, as we have our second slice of cheese for the game. I think that's probably going to be on that pretty obvious shirt tug. Jack Martin there. But yeah, 21 shots to 1. Don't get much more convincing than that.
It's been a thorough drubbing here today. KG5, the Glenorchy Knights, well and truly locking down a top 2 spot. It's just whether they can rein in the Devonport Strikers. The gap once again at 4 points with 5 rounds to go. Of course, a head-to-head game between the pair to come. So they're going to need a slip up somewhere from the Devonport Strikers if they're to catch them. But the way the Knights are playing right now, you wouldn't be betting against them in that head-to-head match. It's going to be a cracking encounter, really. Looking forward to that one already. Final day of the season. And if the Strikers do slip up before then, it will be huge. Otherwise, it might be the biggest anticlimax you'll ever likely to see. But pretty much at Valley Road. They've got one trip to Warrior Park. And apart from that, the Strikers are at home.
Exactly what I was looking at. He beat me to it as Oscar Thomas hits that one into the cricket nets. Not someone we usually see scoring with their feet too often, only when it's at halfway. Doesn't score too many others with his feet, does Oscar Thomas.
Not sure how comfortable Knights would feel with needing the Warriors to do them a favour, of course, rival side. But looking at the run-in for the Strikers. You'd think they'd do the job based on what we've seen today against Kingborough next week. They'll be heavily favoured at home against both Zebras and Lonnie City. So it is that October 10th clash at Warrior Park that looms as perhaps Knights' big hope if they are to rein them in. The way Devonport have been grinding out results, very much in the box seat.
Particularly with that home record as Nkoso trying to get around Cohen again. This time lays it off to Backhouse. Can he make it 7? Douse coming across. Will he lay it back to Smith? He does with the back heel. Cade Smith with the shot. And Mackie saving and keeping it in play, which what should surely be the last kick of the game, and it's not. The casual throw out to no effect as Bellini chips it towards the back stick. This time cleared. Now falls to Schmidt again. Connor Schmidt with the shot. Oh, and it's gone in at the near post. Schmidt getting his second of the game. 7 for the Knights. And there's been an absolute rout. And the left back's got 2.
Yeah, 7th heaven for the Glenorchy Knights, and Connor Schmidt takes a touch, controls it, and just catches Mackie completely by surprise there. Was not expecting that one. Maybe just misjudged it. Thought it was slipping wide of the post. Not to be. Connor Schmidt, and that will be the final kick of the contest. So a lovely way to end it for him. The Glenorchy Knights go marching on 7-0 victors. A thumping win, 6 of them coming in the second half, as the 10-men Lions rather capitulated, Paul.
Yeah, they certainly did. Just 1-0 at half-time. With that red card, sometimes if you can hold on and make the opposition nervous, you're still in with a shout, but 2 early goals in that half for the Knights, and geez, some of that shot total really does explain it. 24-2, 5 corners to 0. And obviously, Lions with that red card in the first half to Davis Bryan, always on the back foot. Knights doing their goal difference. Some good in their race to catch up to the Strikers. 4 points away from top the Knights and keeping the NPL Tas season alive.
Yep, we'll see if the Strikers slip up at all and allow for that final day showdown or not. Where they're going, they may not. It may well be a dead rubber, but the Glenorchy Knights continue to do what they need to do. Their winning streak continues, and in style, they are getting better and better in attack. That is as big a drubbing as I've seen in this league, excluding Clarence games from last year, which is a fair disclaimer. But 7-0, Glenorchy Knights, what a showing, and that attack is firing on all cylinders right now.
It's Walter leading scorer in the comp, and Koso getting on the score sheet. Goals coming from other sources as well. Still 1 or 2 players to come into the lineup as well. They are looking pretty good. Thank you, sir. Glad you've enjoyed the coverage. And again, Kingborough really next week as well. Got to make the trip up to Valley Road after a 7-0 drubbing. It's backs to the wall for them in their race to keep third an option. And they've got plenty of teams, one of which is Olympia, playing after this in contention for that third spot. It will be a big ask for Jeds Kent's team to come back from, I think, Andrew.
Yeah, probably going to be a pretty tough week on the training track for those boys, but the 10 men simply couldn't cope. Full time here at KG5, a thumping win for the Glenorchy Knights, 7-0 over the Kingborough Lions. Next up is the Eastern Shore Derby. Clarence Zebras taking on the Olympia Warriors. Catch the live stream of that one starting in around about 5 minutes time if you want to continue enjoying your football here. But thanks for tuning into this one on a day where the Knights made a major statement.